This big chapter of One Piece, for the most part, I was just loving every single panel. This was like one of the best chapters. We get more action, more of the fight scenes. We get Cavendish being cool. We get more information on Bartolomeo's power. Progression with Law. He's finally free from his handcuffs. Frankie and Senor Pink are ballet fighting. I have no idea what the hell they're doing anymore. So let them have their fight, whatever. And Sabo and Fujitora having a big epic fight. Who knows who's winning, really. I mean, it seems like Fujitora might have a bit of an upper hand, but at the same time, Sabo is still putting up, a pretty good face. It's like, yeah, I'm testing out my abilities, trying to, test the water, see how strong this Fujitora guy is, what the extent of his powers are. But the one thing that just kind of made me like step back and say, why is this happening, was Rebecca was running away from Diamante and at the same time crying, and then she just cries out for Toy Soldier, which by now she should know it's Kiros. I don't know why she's not calling him that right now. Maybe she's a lifelong thing. She's been calling him Toy Soldier for so long. It'll be hard for her to say like, oh, yeah, I know your name is Kiros, but I've called you this for so long. It's kind of weird to change that all of a sudden. Now, yeah, you could say that she really has no reason to go after Diamante, but at the same time, it's like, this is the guy who killed your mother. You should be more, damn you, Diamante, I'm gonna kill you, or at least trying to fight him. True, your technique does not go up against, well, outside the Coliseum, dodging and throwing people out of the ring. But I'm pretty sure you can at least like try to get around him, or something, or knock him out. At least try. But immediately she's just running away and trying to hide in the flowers and crying. And I'm a little disappointed. I felt like this was her time to really stand up for herself, really show me something greater than she has so far throughout this arc. And it made me go back to thinking about Vivi. Princess Vivi was not well trained. She did not have martial arts training as well as Rebecca did. Rebecca was trained rather well, and yet she doesn't use her skills or any of that to stand up to one of the big bads. But Princess Vivi, though she lacked those skills, she still had the courage to really risk her life for the people she cared about, for her country. Now, it's true that Rebecca really doesn't have anything to do with the country itself. Her mother, Scarlet, true, was a princess, but she left that behind to be with her family. So, technically, Rebecca and her family literally have nothing to do with the kingdom. The kingdom is not what they're fighting for. They're not trying to protect the kingdom. They're not trying to set free the people. They're more of Don Flamingo and his crew is here fucking everyone up, and we're just trying to prevent any more losses on our family side. Kiros came in, saving Rebecca, cutting Diamante's arm, and saying, I'm not gonna let you kill Rebecca the same way you kill Scarlet. You've already taken one person I loved away from me. I'm not gonna let you do that again. And that's ultimately what they're fighting for. So I'm hoping now that Kiros is there, the battle between Diamante and Kiros and Rebecca is going to intensify, and Rebecca will finally have a really big reason to fight back. She's seeing Kiros having trouble, and he might get killed, and she'll just step in and really, show some kind of ferocity that she's been lacking throughout this arc. And I'm still hoping for that. But yeah, everything else about this chapter was fantastic. I loved it. Luffy and Law finally, getting up to the 4th floor. And I like Bartolomeo's way of getting them up there. Apparently his barriers can form stairs. But when I think about it, it's like, then why didn't you just make a pathway from where you guys were, him, Robin, and Rebecca, and just make a pathway all the way to the flower garden instead of having to fly with the beetles, But again, I'm nitpicking with that, but it's still cool to see that his barriers can be used for more functions than just a shield, a wall. And I like how there's a limit. So we finally find his weakness. It's more like the barriers aren't endless. It's like stamina. There's a certain amount he can perform before he just gets exhausted and he can't use them anymore. I do like the little scene where he's, even without the barrier, he's still trying to save Luffy. You know, gets in the way of the bombs and gets himself blowed up. And he's saying he's willing to sacrifice himself if it means helping Luffy in any way he can. And then Robin comes in saying that's right, as he truly understands what it means to be part of a crew. When it comes to Luffy, he is our ace in the hole, so to speak, and we're willing to die for him. Yeah, for Robin to say that is impressive. You know, she usually, you know, stays away from those moments that really present strong emotion. She's usually there to support, yes, but I mean, like, really just saying we believe in Luffy, you can't stop him. That's usually something like Zoro or Usopp, maybe even Nami. But for Robin, that was pretty cool. And it just intensifies my thought that Bartolomeo will probably end up becoming part of the Alliance. I don't believe maybe part of the crew. No, he already has his own crew and he already has his own set of goals and story. But really, like, at least part of an alliance, you know. The Straw Hat Alliance will just keep growing and growing with more and more captains. At least that's what I feel. And Cavendish. God, Cavendish, you got a lot of honor. It's like, he's throwing away his chance for glory and stuff like that. I'm taking down Doflamingo. No, he's throwing that away because my horse is injured. He's down on the ground. I'm going to protect him at all costs. Luffy, you go ahead. You go defeat Doflamingo. And really, it just shows like, while yes, at times he can get annoying with his want for glory and glamour, you know, his attention hogging, he really does have some pride, really deep amount of honor that really shines through, and it just makes him one of my favorite characters throughout this arc. But you know, really, this has been a great chapter. Sabo versus Fujitora, intense fight, great use of his gravity technique. It's just, whoa, holy shit. And even Sabo still, you know, he's still learning how to use fire, but he seems to be doing pretty well. But you know, all in all, you know, their fight's progressing. Law's finally free. You know, he's gonna team up with Luffy to take down Doflamingo. And this chapter was just fantastic. Just rushing forward, breaking through. It was just the whole Rebecca thing. I'm hoping that she finally gets that moment. I'm still waiting for that moment where she, you know, shows some real tenacity. Like, really just stands up and just screw everything, you know, breaks her code to just try at least to take down Diamante. But either way, fantastic chapter. And I can't wait till next one. Again, I'm hoping for a flashback. I'm hoping that's going to come soon. Maybe when Luffy and Doflamingo finally go off face to face. But until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.